In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about life, death, the recent birth of a baby boy. I'm going to show a couple of gematria examples. I'm going to show a couple of date calculations. But first, I feel obligated to point out that this video contains spoilers. Now, this is not a review of any kind, but I am going to be talking about the show Squid Game, and I know a lot of people care about spoilers. Unfortunately, this video contains spoilers. So there's your fair warning. If you haven't seen the show Squid Game and you care about spoilers, maybe turn this video off. So before I get into the spoilers, I want to talk about the actor who plays player number 218. He and a few of his other castmates from Squid Game were on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Please forgive me if I mispronounce the names here. But the actor who plays player number 218 is Park Hae-soo. So Jimmy Fallon addresses him and he says, "Hey Sue, you became a dad the day Squid Game premiered. Is that right?" And then in his native language, Hae-soo replied, "That's right." He said it was quite amazing because the premiere of Squid Game was at 4 p.m. And the first time I got to meet my son was at 3:50 p.m. So I think what they're trying to say here is that the son was born 10 minutes before the premiere of this hit show. This is a huge show. Jimmy Fallon and others have said this is like the biggest show in the world. That's besides the point. His son was born supposedly 10 minutes before. Anyway, it's the same day. So I'm going to show you a couple of date calculations, and one has to do with, well, here, let me just show you. So we're going to use the release date of Squid Game as a starting point. Squid Game released on September 17th this year. It's important to note that Park Hae-soo, the guy who plays player number 218, he's supposedly born on November 21st. So, again, he plays number 218. If we use the release date of Squid Game, and I believe it was released worldwide on that same day, and again, his son was supposedly born that same day within the hour. So if we used that date, and we go forward 218 weeks exactly, if we go forward 218 weeks, that happens to bring us to his birthday, November 21st. He will be 44 years old. So his son will be 4 years old. That when Park Hae-soo turns 44, his son will already have turned 4. So we have this 4 and the 44. 4 is a very powerful number. It has a lot of meaning behind it. It's a very strong number, and I don't want to get into what that number could symbolize, but I just wanted to point out that player number 218 will be 44 years old. When he turns 44 years old, his son will have turned 4 already. But I'm just going to come out and say it that 4 is a number associated with death, and so is number 218. If you use the English extended cipher of gematria, the word death equals 218. Now it just so happens that the word life has a gematria value of 456. So we got to use the reverse English Sumerian cipher. Again, the word life equals 456. Again, we saw that 218 with death. So, and in Squid Game, two of the most important characters are number 456 and number 218. And this Squid Game is about life and death. In fact, there can only be one winner. Only one person wins the 45.6 Korean won. So as I said, there's going to be some spoilers. Unfortunately, one of the biggest ones is who wins this game. I think you guys probably already know by now. But number 218 and number 456 square off at the end. Who do you think the winner is? Life equals 456, death equals 218. Right, so player 456 wins the game. And the last normal contestant to die was player 218. So let's talk about the actor Lee Chung-jae, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce his name really, but he played player number 456. So we're going to look at his birth date, the date of birth, December 15th, 1972. If we go backwards, a span of 456 days, that brings us to the date September 17th. So when I say span, I mean including the ending date. So we're using his actual date of birth, December 15th, 1972, going backwards a span of 456 days, because that's his number on the show. That brings us to the date September 17th. It's hard to call that a coincidence. Some numbers are just tied together. Some people are tied to certain numbers. And as a few gematria decoders pointed out, the name of his character equals 456. So I'll leave some links in the description box for some gematria decoders who have already pointed this out. I've already done a couple of videos on this show, and I will do probably at least another one, because there's so much to talk about, and I wanted to keep these videos simple. I don't want to muddy the waters with too many numbers. But so just recapping this video, we're talking about player number 456, who wins the game. He wins 45.6 won. There was 456 players, and there's a whole thing about first and last, and duality, life and death. Of course, the character who died last, the actor who plays him, just had a son supposedly the same day that this huge show premieres. But yeah, the recap here is that player 456, if we use his birth date as a starting point, his actual date of birth, going backwards a span of 456 days brings us to September 17th, which just so happens to be when Squid Game will have eventually premiered. If we use that premiere date, September 17th this year, 2021, going forward 218 weeks, brings us to the birthday of Park Hae-soo, who played number 218. And we just used the premiere date, September 17th, going forward that 218 weeks. And of course, that very same day, supposedly, was the birth of his son.